Hey, hi Garbage Squad, welcome back to episode 24 of the Young Ash series. Look at her, she's grown up so much here. Look how big she is now. She's no longer the young Ash, she's all grown up. But anyways, today's episode 24, we'll be talking about the water rift here. I promise that you guys in these episodes, I will talk about my rift raid teams and how they've been evolving. So this team is basically a solid double S. The reason why I can't reach triple S is simply because I lack the damage. So I will start off with showing you my team and my runes and how I've changed it to reach the current state and why I select these monsters. So first of all, this probably stands out. Oh, I'm crying, I'm not free to play. Well, actually, this unit is basically like Crow, but Crow is better in my opinion because this is random RNG for ignore damage, and well, you can't really count on it. The reason why I got a triple S before is because this like ignored so much damage and I got that triple S damage. So this is like pure RNG, and these stats are enough for her to live. Before, she was a little bit squishier and she kept dying in the backline. So these stats are tanky enough for her to live. So again, this is like a Crow replacement here if you have one. The Naomi, pretty standard. You use it in Giant Speed 12. It works here as well during the groggy phase. It doesn't do much when it's not in the groggy phase because negative crit rate and doesn't work here, right? But when it's in the groggy state, you have so much debuffs. You're gonna do a lot of damage, and this is like a lot of, this is my damage dealer, right? And I guess my runes are grinded, right? A few of them aren't, but because she's wind, she's gonna do more damage and she'll take less damage. And then we have the Bernard. So because my team lacks the damage, I decided to make my Bernard crit damage. He doesn't have a lot of crit rate, but he does pack a punch here. He's got decent speed. The reason why he has decent speed is because of Tailwind. So for those who are new to the Ice Beast mechanic, you basically need attack bar increase and healing is not as important. So by thinking about that, we have the Shannon. She provides the defense buff and the attack buff. So tankier and more damage. And again, the reason why I 2-8 my Shannon is because she can have more stats and she has not been plus 15. The Bella. So the Bella here is the defense breaker with skill 1, but also a frontliner. Super beefy, right? She can live the front line no problem, but because I have like 3 support monsters in the front line, I'm not doing as much damage as I could. And the Mav. The Mav is a leader skill, but also because this is literally why I'm using the Mav here. If I had a Wind Barbarian King, I could use the Wind Barbarian King for speed buff, and I don't need the cooldown reduction because I would have the additional damage from my Wind Barbarian King, and I can change up my team. But because of my last summon session and it didn't work out, this is the team that I'm using. Okay, I'm going to speed up the run because my runs are very slow. However, they're consistent at S or double S depending on the RNG of the Bethany. However, you can see that how the team works with this speed buffing mechanic, also with the attack bar increasing mechanic from the Bella and the Bernard to always ensure that the freezing buff never lands too long. And when I'm out of freezing, Bella heals me up and tops me off a little bit. But overall, my front line is tanky enough. The Bethany, because she's not wind, takes more damage than Naomi and the 5-star Bernard, but overall we should be able to clear it consistently. My biggest suggestion for you guys if you're running this dungeon is to have attack bar increase, run wind monsters because of the element advantage, and make sure you have enough damage to reach S for more efficient farming. Again, these are the runes for my front line. So I would say it's a baseline for them to survive because the Mav is super beefy, but I made him really beefy for the Wind Rift as well. But because this is Water Rift, he will take less damage. However, the Bella doesn't have a mental advantage, right? So he needs to be extra beefy, but I think he might be too beefy, to be honest with you. Let's talk about some of the alternative monsters that you may use. I'm not going to touch about like Nat 5s because everyone, free to play or not, is going to have Nat 5s that are different. So the best monster I could suggest is honestly the Wind Barbarian King. Speed buff, brand, and damage. You can also build him on an HP slot 6 as a bruiser build for frontline. Bernard, enough said, attack bar increase. Crow is the premium Bethany in this case. Sabrina and Talia. Unfortunately, I don't have any of these twins. And do I suggest you build twins? I think they do a lot of damage for Rift Raid. However, you won't be seeing twins anymore in the new Kairos dungeons. They're just not that popular. My next thing I noticed is Eredar. Eredar is free to play. However, it takes a lot of time, especially after going for Fran, to get an Eredar. So that's why I don't have an Eredar on my team. But if I did have an Eredar, I would change the Shannon for an Eredar, and that way I have attack buff, vampire steel, and I have an attack lead from it. So really good unit, but unfortunately not very obtainable for a 2-month-old account. Naomi, yes. Stet, Premium, Teshar, Melissa. So a lot of people use the Wind Twins here, but the thing is, if you just make twins for the Rift Raid, like the Wind one specifically from HOH, you're basically wasting resources to clear one dungeon. You will notice I use all of these monsters everywhere in the game. TOA, Giants early game, TOA, Giants, Bernard, Giants, Naomi, Giants, Bethany, Giants, right? I'm literally using monsters I can recycle. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic here. How did I get here? Some things I've tried was doing this. Fran. I saw Fran being used, and the reason why Fran isn't good is because she does not offer anything in this stage. Healing is nice, but it's not the reason why you're gonna die. The reason why you're gonna die is the attack bar mechanic. She does not provide attack bar. You don't really need the immunity here at all. I mean, sure, you get the AoE healing, but Bella provides that better, and Bella has attack bar increase with her heal. So this unit is just like a sucky version of Bella in this scenario here. Okay, so I did try that. A lot of people said use your Skogul. Skogul will have no turns and do no damage. I didn't try that. So for you guys keep suggesting it, please don't. Okay, and before I took out the Bernard, I needed more damage, right? I needed more damage to get that 3.5 mil. But when I took out my Bernard, I put in Sigmaris for damage. Sigmaris doesn't work well because this HP scaling thing, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it doesn't work, right? All this HP scaling thing don't work, so he doesn't do any damage. And then you have your Lapis. Lapis has your vampire runes, but overall, she does negative damage, right? Compared to like a Naomi and a Bethany, she does negative damage. And even if she did do a lot of damage, look at this team. Can this team, sorry, I changed the friend back. Change the friend back to Bella. Can this team, without the Bernard, have enough attack bar increase and the damage to wipe out the boss before it wipes you? If you don't need the attack bar increase because you're doing so much damage and you have fast runes in general, it's gonna work. But for a noob, your Lapis and these 3 damage dealers, you better burst the boss before you die. And unfortunately, that's not the case. And that's why Bernard works better, because he's the support damage dealer, I'm gonna say, that helps you cycle out of freezing, heal back up, and not die, right? And before I got my homunculus right here, I can't count it because I got him after I farmed this. So the homunculus is not very, like, I'm not gonna include it because I haven't tested it, also because it's not really fair. So that's the alternative I use. The biggest change again is changing the Fran to the Bella and changing your last damage dealer to a Bernard. And if you really wanted to, maybe even change the Bella to, this is what I wanted to do, okay? But I don't have the skill ups to make this work. I want to test it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I will do it when I get the skill ups. And what that is, Bernard will be frontline. I'm going to change his build to double HP and HP defense or something like that. And then the backline damage dealer. I'm missing the heal from the Bella, but I have this guy right here. I want to make him because he's got a heal here and he does do damage, right? So that's the plan, to make this is like the end game plan. This team, will this team give me the consistent triple S? I'm not sure, but that's the plan. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, because it definitely helps the channel.